Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Q&A from Fantasy Football Scout ahead of the Game Week 3 deadline. I am joined by not Sam Bonfield. It's not 4 p.m. It's 9 a.m. in the morning. Welcome to the Pink Room, Andy. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad, mate. Thank you. Yeah, it kind of threw me off seeing all the pink. I'm assuming that was your idea.
That was your first reaction when you came in, wasn't it? You went, whoa, that's a lot of
Yeah,
pink.
that is a lot of pink. Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I am okay. Thank you. It's quite fresh to be starting one of these in the morning. I used to do
Yeah.
my team selection on Black Box around this time, and then the season went down the pan, so I stopped doing those. I'm kind of If I'm in the top million around game week 7 or 8, I might bring it back. But yeah, until then, I think I might
So
hold
it's not
off.
coming back then.
Hey, ahead of you at the moment.
You
It's a
are.
good
Yeah,
day.
I'm not liking this. I saw that when I came on. I was thinking, there's no way he's ahead of me. Then I saw the ranks. So I was like, oh, how do I log out?
How's the start of the season been? I mean, 700k. You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I've been pretty happy, to be fair. I didn't use my triple captain, which I'm quite happy to be where I am without using that already.
Wish you'd
But
used
yeah,
it.
no, it's been... Pardon?
Wish you'd used it.
Uh, Maybe in hindsight, I was never going to, so I wasn't looking at it and thinking, oh, I should have done it. Like, yeah, I'm quite good with those kind of things. If I wasn't going to, I know I wasn't going to. So, but no, it's been quite high scoring to start with, and some of those, other players like, for instance, Smith Rowe and Gibbs White came in for me last week, and Robinson and that. So, no, to be honest, yeah, very, very happy. I'm just looking at my team now and thinking it might be quite a low scoring week this week, so maybe it'll all come crashing down to earth a little bit, but. No, very, very happy so far with my rank.
Good. FPL Team Peter's in the chat. He says, Andy had a haircut. Looks fresh. I said that to you, didn't I?
You did, actually. Yeah.
I tell you what, your lighting is... I mean, look at mine. I'm like sort of in the dark. I've got a window open. I've got the lights coming. It's not doing anything. You're framed, angelic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We could stop saying this now because I'm not really sure how to respond. I can respond to any banter and any ribbing and roasting from you, but the compliments are throwing me off a bit.
It's 9 a.m. in the morning on a Thursday. We've got to be a bit nice to each other. What is your lighting setup? Have you got spotlights on, or is it just natural?
I got a little spotlight, yeah.
Spotlight?
But there's no main light coming down, which is what I normally have. So maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
I think the main light sometimes creates some shadows. Doesn't always work in the best way.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
This is what you and Sam normally talk about.
We do talk a load of nonsense till we get into it. Adil Elise as you two brothers. We've had that before.
We have had that before. We're 100% not brothers. 100%. No.
You live too far away to be my brother.
Yes, that's why I'm adamant we're not brothers.
We're FPL brothers.
We are. Yeah.
You don't like this,
FPL
do you?
brothers.
I'm trying to be so nice, and you're
No,
just...
I don't know what to do. Like, you keep doing it as well, and it's massively throwing me off. Normally I've got like a retort or whatever, but I can't do that with compliments. Oh.
Excellent. Get your questions in the chat. We will stop talking about how much we look alike in just a second. We've got Kieran in the chat. I feel discomfort. Sold Haaland and Saka last night. I think I'm doing this wrong. I am seeing this happening, right? I'm seeing hits being taken, Haaland out, Saka out, Palmer coming in, Watkins.
I was gonna say Palmer. Yeah.
Thoughts on those moves?
I don't hate the Saka to Palmer move. I tweeted about it a couple of days ago saying that if you're going to get a Chelsea player, you get Palmer. And I actually don't hate the idea of moving Saka to Palmer at the moment with the fixtures coming up. Haaland, though, I'm assuming that's just to facilitate the move. But then Saka and Palmer are pretty much the same price, aren't they? So I don't know.
Palmer's a bit more.
I wouldn't.
He's 0.5
I
more.
don't think I'd be moving Haaland personally, especially not for Watkins. I'm not enamoured about Watkins at the moment. I feel like you can wait at least another week on Watkins personally, but I don't hate the Palmer move.
Would you be looking to get Watkins next week, though? Everton at home.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, Everton at home and then Wolves at home, and then they've also got Ipswich away. I just need to... They just look so tired, Villa, at the moment. Them and Newcastle are so comparable at the moment. Obviously, we all started with Watkins and Isak, and both teams are just looking quite stodgy at the moment, aren't they? And looking quite tired with their passes and things.
Stodgy.
They do look stodgy. They look like they've had a lovely summer. And I'd need to wait another week, I think, before I moved on them. The fixtures are there, so this is where the form could turn, obviously. And Villa, like you said, Leicester away, Everton at home, Wolves at home, that's lovely. But I think I'd probably just want to wait another week because you're moving off someone like Haaland. It's not like you're moving off of, somebody that's injured or underperforming anyway. You're moving off Haaland. So I think I'd probably wait another week myself.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I mean, I do kind of get the logic of the Saka to Palmer move. I mean, you're chasing... I mean, Mark and I were talking about some Black Box last night. I think Palmer is the best captain this week. If you've got him at home to Palace, I think he's probably
Yeah, I'd
the
agree
one
with
that you go for. Saka is going to have a good season, but he's a kind of a bit of a chip away player, isn't he? He gets a goal, gets an assist. He keeps getting like an attacking return every week, but is he someone that you're going to want to captain every week? And if you haven't got Salah, you haven't got Haaland, I guess Palmer becomes the go-to. So, yeah, I do kind of get it, but I don't know. Losing Saka with, Arsenal haven't really got firing yet, and he's already got, a goal and 2 assists?
Well, and he's got the hardest fixture of the season next, doesn't he? So can we really trust him against Brighton?
Well, that's true. Yeah, he's definite sell. We're gonna thrash him now. I've gone for a Arsenal win in that. G Wiz says Sam needs a shave. Very good.
Wow.
Is that related to this stream or just in?
I'm hoping so.
Lee says, can we turn Andy's mic up? I've just done that. Hopefully that's a little bit louder.
I said that to you. Closer to me as well.
I said that to you before we started, but it's fine.
You did.
We did. We got birthday in the chat. We got FPL Rank Chaser. What could be better than waking up with Az and Andy on a Thursday morning? By the way, it's my birthday today, so please wish me luck for game week 3. Happy birthday, Matt. It's like the when you used to watch like CBeebies or something, people used to phone in, so like, it's my son's birthday today.
We'll do you a little birthday message at the end of the stream. Send it to you.
Yeah, people like that. Ryan Todd says, bought in Palmer, have Haaland 2. Who would you captain? I guess this is what I was saying. I would go for Palmer, but
yeah, if I had Palmer, I'd captain him because I don't know what owned he is at the moment either.
He's higher. He's higher than I thought he was going to be.
Because quite a few people started with him.
I want to say 40%. Palmer.
Is he?
Yeah, 39%. Which is worrying, right? As we haven't got him.
It is actually. Yeah. I think I'd captain Palmer if I had him. I think I'd be on it.
Yeah, so would I. It's a away fixture for Haaland. I mean, Haaland has scored a brace against West Ham away a couple of years ago in his first ever game in the Premier League. Obviously more than capable, but I would back Palmer, I think, at home to Chelsea. Zoltan says, hey both, would you do Isak to Watkins from -4?
Not for a hit. I don't think I would for a hit. Isak can easily get a return against Spurs, I think. I think that game's going to have quite a few goals in it, to be perfectly honest. And like I just said, I don't trust Watkins enough to get him in for free, let alone to do it for a hit. And I think that hit is negating any kind of upside you got from doing that move. So yeah, I wouldn't be doing that for a hit.
I saw a few people worried about. He played the 90 minutes. I think he hurt his foot at one point, and
he did. Took the pen though, didn't he?
Yeah, he took the pen. And there's who else are they going to play? There's no other options.
And also, they're not. They're getting a bit of flack at the moment, aren't they? So if he were to go into the next game and not play him, I think, and they lost, I think they'd be in a bit of trouble personally. So yeah, I don't have any doubt in my mind he's going to play. Just like Solanke last week, he's definitely going to play.
Did they win that shootout in the end?
Yeah, they did, didn't they? I think I saw loads of congratulatory tweets afterwards, so I think they did.
Yeah, Tonali makes a comeback as Newcastle knock out Forest. Yeah, they knocked out Forest. I mean, Howe is kind of... He's not under pressure. I mean, it's obviously only 2 games into the season, he's through in the cup, but you do think if they do start faltering a bit, you worry that there might be a change planned. Has he taken them as far as he can go, for example? It wasn't a great season last year. I don't know whether I agree with the fact he's under pressure in terms of he shouldn't be, but I think he is. I do think he is. I think he's, it's one of those ones where if this season they don't push on, but they haven't exactly bought well this year, I wouldn't have said. I wouldn't, they've been having to sell a lot of players and stuff, so I'm not sure what I'm really expecting from them this year. But I think Isak is still obviously a good option to own, and this is a good fixture for him. But yeah, I get it. I think a lot of people are obviously wanting to move from Newcastle because what have they got? Just loads of away games, haven't they? And a City game, whereas Villa have obviously quite nice fixtures. But I just think this is maybe a week too early. I'm saying that a lot this week. Yeah, well, you mentioned. I agree there. I mean, you mentioned transfers. I mean, they bought in Lloyd Kelly, haven't they, from Bournemouth? They've obviously sold Minte, who I don't think had made a Premier League appearance for them, but was very highly rated to Brighton. They've sold Anderson as well to Forest. Tonali's back, but that's about it, right? Is there any other? Trippier's complaining, saying he wants to move. Wilson's injured again. Oh, Osula's come in from Sheffield United, but
and they signed Hall permanently, didn't they?
Yeah, that doesn't count. He was there last year. Yeah. But yeah, it's not been a great transfer window, is it?
No, I don't think so. So that's where I mean in terms of how much are they really going to step up this year. I think home games are still good for them, but I think away they might struggle. I've actually, I think on the predictions for Black Box, I think I'll put them as a score Spurs win. So they're going to score, but I think they'll lose the game personally.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I think I've gone the other way round. I've gone for a score, Newcastle win. I think that game could go either way, but yeah, it was. It's the Everton effect, isn't it? I don't know how good Spurs are. They were great in the first half against Leicester, awful in the second half, and how do you judge them against Everton, given that they are probably the worst team in the league at the moment? Nemanja says, "Az looks so fresh. His rank has something to do about it." I don't feel particularly fresh today, but I'll take the compliment.
What it is. I've never seen you smile so much. Last year, never saw you smile on stream. This year, you're like...
I know. Started the stream being nice to you as well. Clearly something's in the...
You did.
In the water. Leo is good this morning. Az and Andy ranked 7k right now. Ooh. Triple captain Haaland last week. Great start for me. 7k in the world.
Wow.
Ooh, I can't imagine being 7k in the world after 2 weeks. That must be
fair play.
Lovely. If you can keep the green arrows coming for a few more weeks, you could be first. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Summons is in the chat, by the way.
Is he? What's it? I thought he was at a festival. Oh, no, I see. I've got no returns from Barkey. I'm already off call. How do I block people on this?
Do it.
Malachi Fox, thank you for the super chat. Morning, lads. Rodgers as a differential captain.
I don't think as captain, personally.
I'm debating benching him this week.
Yeah, I know. He's first on my bench at the moment.
Is he?
Yeah. I don't think as captain, personally. I think he just doesn't have the high enough upside to captain. Like, he's not going to get you a haul, I don't think. I say that, famous last words, but I'm not expecting him to. Yeah,
Tom's watching, clip that.
Yeah, brilliant. The thing I'd say about Rodgers is obviously he's putting up the numbers. For the last 2 weeks, he's definitely putting up the XGI. So I'm expecting him to potentially get a return. But I think captain is, that's quite ballsy, I would say. You'd have to not own Palmer and Haaland to go for him, I think. And then I'd be worried about your team if Rodgers is your best captaincy option. But I don't know.
I think it's quite ballsy at the moment to be going against the premium assets who have all started so strongly. Yeah. Like, you look at literally all of them, apart from Foden, with one exception. I mean, Son, Saka, Salah, Haaland, did I say Palmer? But all 5 of those are good options. I might have said Palmer twice. That might be 4.
Yeah, that's fine. That's how good he is.
Yeah, that's how good he is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But if you're going against those and captaining like a 5.5 million player, I think you're brave given the start. But not for us. But if you want to do it, Malachi, go for it.
Exactly.
We could be singing your praises next week. Mark and I talked about some Black Box last night about how we think Trent is not essential, but going to be close out this season. Catherine Nemon says, "Do I bring in Trent or is he too spenny? I have Gvardiol as my premium and no Arsenal defence. How much would you prioritise Trent? Let's assume the wildcard's off the table. Would you be prioritising Trent for a transfer?"
So if I had to pick between Trent, Gvardiol and Arsenal defence at the moment, it would be Trent every day of the week. I think that Liverpool fixtures are there. Man City have Arsenal and Newcastle in 5 and 6. Arsenal fixtures aren't great until game week 6. So I think I would be definitely prioritising Trent. I think if there was nothing else wrong in my team, then trying to get... The problem with trying to get Trent is obviously he's an upgrade from any other defender. So you have to make 2 moves to get him, unless you've kept some money in the bank. But if the rest of your team's looking all right, then I think you can go up to Trent personally. I think with those fixtures as well... Like, I know they've got Man United away this week, but then Forest at home, Bournemouth at home, Wolves away, Palace away. I think it's nice. I actually quite like the fact he's going off as well. I like the fact he's going off around 85 because it means that he could lock that clean sheet in before it gets taken away potentially. And I don't think that's a bad thing. So I think if there was nothing else wrong with your team and you had the money, I would be doing it. Especially if it's for someone like Gvardiol. I think you could do that personally.
Would you do it this week, given that Liverpool have
United away? I'm expecting us to score as well, just from blind faith. Exactly. But I would want to do it by 4. I think if you couldn't do it for free this week, then just wait a week and do it in game week 4. And I think that's a great move personally.
I guess it is a tricky one with Trent because he's not going to be the priority for a lot of people because there's Watkins, there's the premium, there's other assets around, but it's the kind of thing we thought, don't worry, Gvardiol can cover it, or the Arsenal defender can cover it. Whereas I think Trent has got a big haul coming. So, I think if you haven't got him, he'd be definitely someone I'd be worried about.
That Bournemouth at home fixture, that's the one for me. That's the one where that's the typical one where Salah does nothing and Trent gets a haul.
Yeah.
Like I swear historically that's what's happened before, where we've like captained Salah and he does nothing. So that's the one where I'm thinking, yeah, that could be the whole week.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing wildcards played not purely for Trent, but I think if you haven't got Trent and you're going into these fixtures now, you might be thinking, like you say, I can't just get him in one move. I've got to move some players around. Then you start making a couple of moves and you're like, well, I might as well just wildcard. And then it comes. Yeah. Whereas Watkins, for example, you can kind of set yourself up for next week because he's maybe not as important. Whereas Trent is, if you're setting yourself up for Trent, then obviously you can't get Watkins as well. So, yeah, small things.
Who would you have then? Trent, if you had to pick between the two of them for the next 3 weeks,
Trent or Watkins?
Trent or Watkins?
Oh, that's a good question. I think Watkins is arguably the best captain next week. Everton at home. Then it's Wolves at home as well. And then it's Ipswich. I mean, I said to Mark, the next 4 fixtures for Aston Villa are absolutely incredible. I guess it's the question of is Isak versus Watkins or let's say Gvardiol versus Trent. Yeah. Where's the bigger difference between them? I'd maybe argue it was Gvardiol and Trent. So that might be the priority. Yeah. But yeah, it's close. It's close. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'd go with that. Look at this username. This is going to hurt my eyes. Thank you for the super chat from QKA plus U0. Should I take a -4 to swap Hall to Conser? My defence, Robertson, Gvardiol, Harwood, Hall, Johnson. Made mistake by transferring Mikalenko for Robinson to catch the price rise. We're at that season. We're at that part of the season already where people are taking a -4 for Hall to Conser.
Yeah, I mean, if it was for free, because Hall played midweek as well, and we're starting to get worried that maybe he lost his place after that first game because he wasn't very good in that first game, was he, for Newcastle? Conser's got the fixtures, but he's got no real upside, I wouldn't say. For a hit, I would never do it for a hit. No. Personally, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm assuming even if Hall comes on for a minute, you're only gaining 1 point from the hit if Conser keeps a clean sheet. So,
well, you don't need to play Hall. I mean, the other defenders are Harwood, Bellis.
Oh, I didn't
Ben
see
Johnson.
His defence there. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, and Ben Johnson's got an alright fixture this week.
Yeah, Fulham
at home.
Johnson's got Fulham at home. Harwood, Bellis has got Forest.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't think I'd do that.
You just play one of those, don't you? And like you say, maybe do it for free.
I was waiting for his username when you read it out to say something rude or something. Then
yeah,
you were going to realise halfway through.
No, never. No. Yeah, that'd be good. Well, I had don't know if you watched the Q&A when it was. Oh, I can't remember his name. It was last season. It was as a teacher, I'm sure you get it on the register. You know, cheeky little name. You don't realise it's a bit rude until you read out. Honestly, I'm not with it this one. If someone can remember what the cheeky chap he was last season, then let me know. Looney Tunes says Hall will start. Kelly left back did not work. That's from a Newcastle fan.
The thing is about Newcastle, I'm not sure I trust their defence anyway. Like, obviously, Hall, if you've got him, I think it's fine. I've got Hall. He's just going to be on my bench anyway. But I'm not sure I trust this Newcastle defence at all. And with their away games, and I wouldn't be, investing in them until 7. And even then, they've got Chelsea and Arsenal in 9 and 10. I just think they're in a void for now, personally.
Yeah, I agree with that. Tom Johnson is in the chat. Our lovely video guy over at Scout. He's asking all the questions this morning. He's coming. Shouldn't you be working, Tom?
I'm wondering how much he manages his own team, to be honest. He just questions all the content creators on all the streams, doesn't he?
Who needs FPL review? You've got you and me, It's,
exactly. I've heard a lot of people say that, actually.
Yeah, so have I. Tom says, I'm wildcarding who's the best goalkeeper currently on Flecken.
It's not easy, is it? I mean, you'd have to still put Raya in there, even though the fixtures are tough, because they are just the best defence in the league. I think Martinez isn't awful.
Have you got Raya or you Henderson, like me?
No, I started with Raya and took him out for Henderson.
Yeah, same.
But I didn't expect his whole defence in front of him to be sold, to be honest. So, obviously they've just signed that French dude, haven't they, from Wolfsburg? That French dude. Lacroix, is that how you say it?
Great analysis, Andy.
Yeah. To be honest, there's no one I like. The fixtures are. You could go for Flecken because he's got 3 nice home fixtures in the next 5. But yeah, I'm really struggling, to be perfectly honest. You can't go Chelsea either. You'd probably go with Martinez, wouldn't you? Martinez has quite nice fixtures up till 9, but he's expensive. So I'm not loving any options at the moment. What do you think?
Well, Tom mentions Verbruggen. Should I pick Verbruggen? Brighton manager. For me, it's clear we will have a number one. There'll be clear roles for them. I'll be straight in my communication to them. It's not like De Zerbi at the beginning of last season when he said, yeah, we're going to rotate the goalkeepers and pick the one that best fits the match. It was like, oh, that was awful for everyone. Verbruggen will be number one. I've got absolutely no doubt about that. He's a Dutch international goalkeeper.
Absolutely no doubt.
Absolutely no doubt. There we go. Off he goes on loan.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think for me, it's quite clear that he's a better goalkeeper than Steele, and I think Steele is an excellent backup goalkeeper, and I think he could do a job at another Premier League side. But given that we've spent £200 million on players, that I think we're going to be playing the best one, and that is, I'm sure that's going to be Verbruggen. So, would I pick him now though? No. Because you just don't know whether he's going to come straight back into the team.
Well, any love for Ramsdale? Just gone to Southampton, Brentford, Ipswich, Bournemouth in the next 5.
I mean,
4.4.
I mean, no, not really.
Yeah.
The fact it's Southampton is the issue, right? I like Ramsdale as a goalkeeper, but would I be picking a goalkeeper from potentially the worst defence in the league? Probably not. I definitely wouldn't be picking Henderson though.
No, I know. I wouldn't be either. I've lost all faith in Crystal Palace since I've picked them. They got Leicester at home in 4, so that's not awful. But yeah, I genuinely find keepers really, really tough. And I think, like I said, Martinez does kind of stand out there a little bit for me between 3 and 9. I don't think he's that bad at all. And if the thing with Villa obviously is they've got Europe and they could start flagging a bit, but I think he's the one that stands out a little bit for me there.
So I'm just trying to ban someone from the chat. I can't work out how to do it.
Mark Southerns.
Yeah, definitely. FPL uproar while we wait. While I'm trying to work out. Question, guys: start Rodgers or Bailey, Munoz or Porro? Cheers.
Ooh.
Rodgers
or Bailey.
Oh.
You've got both Rodgers and Bailey. I mean, based on the numbers, I think I'd be going Rodgers personally. But then if you've got Bailey, I'm thinking, why have you got Bailey if you got? I think I'd be starting Rodgers and then Munoz or Porro. Who do Palace have? They got Chelsea away. I think it'd be Porro out of the two of them. So Rodgers and Porro for me.
Yeah, I agree. Munoz hasn't started that strongly, has he? Chelsea probably. I mean, they both probably concede. You'd start Rodgers over Bailey.
Oh, hang on. Is he asking, do I start Rodgers or Bailey, Munoz or Porro? Or is he asking for the separate ones? I'm assuming it's the separate ones. But yeah, I'd start. It's
Rodgers or Bailey in midfield, or Munoz or Porro.
Rodgers is just so central at the moment as well, isn't he? That's what I like about him. He's breaking in the box quite a lot. So I think I'd play Rodgers over Bailey.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Bradshaw, that's a good one actually. Would you do Isak to Watkins for free this week? Because we talked about hits and things and it being a bit late, but use it for free?
Maybe. Villa have the fixtures, don't they? And obviously Newcastle, they've got some tough fixtures coming up. So maybe for free if I've got nothing else to do. But I suppose the big thing is Isak to Watkins better than a free? Better than rolling the transfer and getting another transfer next week? And I don't think it is, personally. I think I'd rather have another transfer next week. And then I could just move to Watkins knowing I've got that extra week of information. So I think I'd still roll, personally, this week.
I mean, I have gone for the Newcastle win here, but Watkins versus Leicester, I think I'd do it.
Would you?
I think because I'd be doing it next week anyway.
But then, with an extra week's worth of information, we're rolling that transfer. If Watkins gets a knock or whatever it is, and the fixture's not. Is it that amazing? Leicester away.
Leicester away is it Leicester away? Leicester away is better than Tottenham at home.
Yeah. But is there a big enough gap between that fixture difficulty to justify not having another free transfer next week? I always think like that. Watkins gets a knock, and all of a sudden it's like, for God's sake, why did I make that move? Whereas another free transfer next week.
But Isak has played 90, just played 90 as well.
Yeah,
I'd do it. Newly promoted team. Yeah, I'd do it if I had the.
Someone's as well saying Watkins close to a price.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't do it yet. Yeah.
FPL. Yeah, that's true. If you can wait and avoid the price drop and then get him for 0.1, that'll be nice.
That'd be nice.
FPL Yellow Army best Rashford replacement. Already getting sick of Rashford.
I don't even know how much Rashford is at the moment. How much is he now? 6.5.
Was he 6.5 to start the season?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, your obvious moves are Smith Rowe and Rogers, I would say. If you don't have either of those, I would free up some funds and move to those. If not, you're probably going to be rolling and go into someone like a Minter or a Matoma in game week 4, I would say. So those would probably be the best options. Morgan Gibbs-White has been pretty good as well. Forest fixtures are still okay, moving up to like game week 6 or so. So yeah, those would be my ones that are on the top of my head straight away.
Yeah, I mean, Bailey, Rogers, Smith Rowe are the ones that come to me. Wait a week and potentially go to Matoma.
Yeah.
Or maybe even Minte. You've been quite hot on Minte. You've mentioned him a few times. Are you still thinking about going there?
I think because I messaged you, didn't I, not that long ago, saying what's your thoughts on the two of them? And I've always been an ex-minutes man, and I think I would be going for Matoma over Minter because I would hate the idea of Minter going off early or not playing a game. And I think Matoma's got that left wing spot nailed. So I think I'd be going Matoma because I think by then I'd be moving my funds around a little bit anyway and looking to move up someone. And yeah, so I think Matoma would be the way I'd go. But if you don't have Rogers for this run, I think Rogers is where I'd be moving to personally. Free up funds.
There is a bit of concern with Mitoma because he goes off with Japan in the international break. He gets back, I think, like 3 or 4 days before the game at home to Ipswich. Obviously, Ipswich is on paper a winnable game. So is it a case that he comes off the bench in that one? I mean, that is the slight worry with him. But like you say, there's not really any competition for him. So maybe Pedro plays on the left or Dingra comes in, but it's probably quite likely that the Matoma does start in that one. Salih El Zain, should I bench Nkunku or João Pedro? That is a proper form v fixture.
Yeah, I think you got to go Nkunku, haven't you? As in bench Nkunku.
You've got to sell Nkunku. You've got to sell him if you've got him.
Pedro, he's getting 90 minutes every game at the moment, and obviously against United he only scored because he was on in that last minute of injury time. So yeah, I think you've got to play Pedro. There's every chance they score against Arsenal, and it's just Nkunku, just like you said, he's a must sell now, I think.
Peter says Rashford 6'9", must have been 7 to start the season.
Ooh. Yeah, or he's gone up 0.4.
Oh yeah, very good. he was 6'5", wasn't he, a few seasons ago? I remember everyone thought he was going to break the game, and I don't believe he did. No, I don't believe he did. Madueke? Thoughts on Madueke?
So
the first bandwagon of the season?
I was talking to Nacho on Scoutcast, and he was he's a Chelsea fan, obviously, and he was saying, no, this looks good. It looks like, Madueke.
Yeah.
I think on the right wing, he's got less competition than everybody else. But, that's like saying Az is a great manager amongst his friends at work. Like, it doesn't mean... Exactly. Just because he's got less competition on the right wing doesn't mean he hasn't got competition. And
you're saying everyone works on the right wing? You're saying everyone at my work's right wing? I'll tell him that.
Yes, exactly. No, I would not be going near any Chelsea player unless their name was Cole Palmer. I just would not trust them at all. And nobody would be talking about Madueke unless he did what he did last week. And I know that obviously helps, but if you look at their stats as well, they didn't exactly put up the numbers. It was just one of those freak, we're just going to score with every touch we have last week. And I wouldn't be using that as a platform to build on Madueke personally. So yeah, I wouldn't be going there. I don't know whether you think the same, but
I wouldn't be touching anyone but Cole Palmer with a barge pole. So we're completely aligned. Defence.
We keep agreeing today.
Yeah, it's weird.
I
don't like it. But no, I did a TikTok for Scout the other day about whether it's one of those clickbait titles where it's is Madueke essential for your FPL team? I was like, no.
No.
In fact, I'd go as far as I don't even like him as an option. I'm seeing a lot of people buying him. He's nearly 10% owned now. He didn't even start the first game.
My God.
3 goals from an XG of 0.58.
Yeah.
Like you say, just a freak 14 minutes where they just conceded goal after goal after goal. So, it was a strange one.
He's also got a little bit of an attitude as well, hasn't he? Like, he's posted a few things online before where it's like he's got like a little bit of a mouth, and I think he's just like one thing away from not playing one game, and I just think that's not what I want. You don't, especially if you move from say like Nkunku to Madueke, like you're just going from chip pan to the fire, aren't you? So, yeah, I think you'd move to somebody a bit more reliable.
Yeah. Do you think any Chelsea option could? Imagine what about if Tony signs, for example? Would that tempt you?
No, because he said such lovely things about Jackson recently as well, hasn't he? Like, I genuinely, unless it's Palmer, and I was even starting to worry about Palmer at one point because they were just signing so many players. I just don't think it's worth it personally. And I know the fixtures are there, which is what the massive shame. But yeah, no, I wouldn't be going to anybody but Palmer.
Nope, I agree. FPL Opera agrees. Chelsea fan, I don't like Madueke. Let us know if you have bought him in and what you're hoping for. I mean, you don't even really catching the price. I suppose you are, because he went down to 6.4, didn't he, and then back up to 6.5. So I guess if you bought a 6.4, he might even rise again before the deadline. So you are banking the 0.1, but yeah, I mean, surely he starts the next game.
You think so?
Madueke next hatch will be in 2028. yeah,
Probably.
it could well be. Josh says Henderson to Martinez for a -4. What do you reckon about a hit for a goalkeeper? If it's a longer term move, so if it's over 4 or 5 weeks.
No, still not. I mean, I'm not a fan, but there must be something else you can do in your team. Henderson's still a playing goalkeeper, and he's still got Leicester at home in 4, so that could be a clean sheet. They could sort themselves out a little bit after the international break. So no, I don't think that's worth it for me. There's, Villa have Leicester away. Leicester could still score in that game, even though I've just said Martinez is the one I quite like. So for a -4, no.
Yeah. FPL team, Peter says, I've Minte getting a bit cold feet with how Adingra's been doing. Any risk before the good fixtures? Yeah, I think there is. Adingra isn't really someone that I thought was going to have much of an impact for us this season, because obviously Gruder's coming on the right, Mitoma, Minte all look so good. But it's 2 goals now. He scored in the cup game. He's definitely pushing for minutes. Yeah. So does he oust Mitoma on the left, or does he oust Mitoma on the right? Well, probably neither, but he could well eat into some minutes for both of them. So it does put me off Minte a little bit, the fact that Dingra's there and Gruder's there, and there's a whole host of other options around. I think, like you say, I think Mitoma's the one to get. I think he's just a bit more nailed. Yeah. Amrit says Solanke and Winks to Pedro and Madueke. Is this a good move? Or would Isak and Solanke to Muniz and Watkins be better? I mean, upgrading Winks to anyone feels like a good move. But would I go for Madueke? Well, no.
No. I think we've already mentioned like Smith Rowe and Rodgers and players like that. I think it would be a better move up. I'm assuming if you've got Winks, you don't have Rodgers, but I could be wrong. So, but Solanke out. I mean, yeah, I would still be moving Solanke out. He could play this weekend, couldn't he? But he's got Newcastle away and then Arsenal at home. It's not the best of fixtures. I think most people that had Solanke wanted him for those first 2 weeks. So that was a bit of a shame. But yeah, I don't hate the idea of getting Muniz. He's actually been really unlucky, Muniz. But I would say that his nice fixtures stop after game week 4. So you're probably getting him in for kind of 2 game weeks. Yeah, I think Pedro's absolutely fine. I mean, what do you think about Pedro? Because 5.5, is that just a ridiculous price for somebody that's now main man at Brighton and getting all the minutes and on penalties?
I mean, he should never have been priced at 5.5. I think of all the prices, I haven't got an issue with any of them. I think the pricing's been absolutely brilliant this year, but I cannot understand the logic of pricing Pedro at 5.5. Muniz at 6, Chris Wood at 6. Like, come on, this is effectively a starting striker for an attacking side on penalties. Yeah. He's a good option at 5.5. I'm just sounding like a broken record. There's just so many options. And I think particularly in that position where I see him as his most effective, in that kind of 10 behind the striker, that's where we've signed like 3 new players who can all play there. So my theory is that he gets pushed up to the 9. I haven't seen enough from him in the 9 to think he's an amazing option there, but I could be completely wrong. And him playing further up top might actually be really good for his FPL prospects. There might be some minutes shared with Ferguson and whoever, but 5.5 is a punt. It's a punt worth taking. He's gonna start most games for us, I think. So I like it. Would I go for him over Muniz? I think that is close. Pedro versus Muniz is a close one. I'm biased, so I'm probably not the best person to judge.
Ipswich and Forest in 4 and 5. Home.
I think if out of these, if I was going to do it, I think I'd go Isak and Solanke to Watkins and Pedro, and bank that 0.5. I think. Nice. FPL Hell says, don't forget to like and subscribe. 40 likes so far is an embarrassing show of support. Oh, look at that. Use of the word embarrassing. It's actually just over 10%. So I'm actually quite happy with that. We've got 350 people watching live. If you are enjoying it though, drop us a like, do give us a subscribe. Check out Fantasy Football Scout as well. Check out the Scoutcast that Andy did the other day.
Yes.
Is there one next week, or are you taking a break?
Do you know what? I don't know, actually. Tom will let me know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom
He's my boss
pulls
now.
all the strings. Yeah, he is.
He does. Yeah, he is not a nice boss either. He is bossy and
He's horrible.
Never says please. Yeah.
And he asks us questions and doesn't super chat
does.
them in. It's terrible.
It's a dictatorship now.
Yes. Stavros says Gordon to Mbumo and Son to Palmer for free.
Interested on that one, actually.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, I don't hate it. The Son to Palmer move I don't actually hate a lot. I think Spurs will score against Newcastle because I think they're ticking quite well nicely offensively at the moment, and Maddison being back and fit and pulling the strings I think is helping a lot. But obviously we've already said Palmer's probably the best captaincy this week. And Mbumo, I'm not as hot on Mbumo as everybody else just because I think they're just targeting that one good fixture, which is Southampton at home. And then Man City and Spurs away. I'm not expecting anything from him in those two games. So if Mbumo doesn't do anything against Southampton, you're looking at a player in your team and you're thinking, I've got two fixtures now where I'm like, I could bench him potentially. So I'm not a massive fan of that one. But Son to Palmer, I don't hate. We've seen what Son can do last week, but like Az has already said, Everton are arguably the worst defence in the league, and Son ripped them to shreds. So, yeah, I like the Son to Palmer. I don't think I like Gordon to Mbumo personally.
I just think, would I rather have Mbumo or Gordon this week? Probably Mbumo. Would I rather have Palmer or Son? I'd rather have Palmer. But you've got that's the 0.5 that you're saving to do the Son to Palmer move.
Yeah. If I was wildcard in 4, I think I'd get Mbumo. But if I wasn't, I wouldn't want Mbumo for game week 4 and game week 5. That's the problem. Like it's literally like you couldn't get much worse than those two fixtures.
Yeah, it depends on bench, doesn't it? 'Cause, I mean, if you say you've got Pedro on the bench this week, you bring in Mbumo this week and then sub him out for Pedro next week, and then you've got Ipswich and Forest. So yeah, I don't know. I like it. If I had Son, I would be looking at a way to move to Palmer this week. I would just take those 15 points he got and be like, thanks a lot. It was Everton. It's probably not going to happen again. Palmer's a better option. I like it. I would do it.
Tom, by the way, says there should be a scout council.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But honestly, I'm going to start getting hold of my union because work is out. When's my holiday? Disgusting.
You're on holiday. From You're back soon, aren't you?
I am. Monday.
Oh no.
I know. Yeah.
It's going to be. Oh, yeah.
Oh
dear. Matt Hanley says Gordon pretty strong at St James's Park. Yeah, not against bloody Southampton. Not when I needed him in game week 1. At least he turned up with the 10 points in game week 2.
Exactly.
We'll just take a couple more and then we'll finish. This is from Mateus. Game week 3 wildcard with 2 free transfers in the bank feels like a wise move. Can build up to 5 free transfers to game week 6 to 8 and do another mini wildcard. Early wildcard feels good tactics to benefit from the new rule. Yeah, I mean, 2 free transfers in the bank going into this, and then a wild card. Yeah, I said at the start, if you can wild card now, then basically wild card again in game week 7.
Yeah,
you're in a strong position, aren't you? But I don't think this is the week to wild card this one.
No, it doesn't look like it. I mean, even game week 4 looks so much better, but that's obviously after the international break. I think you almost in my head now. I'm thinking that you have to know when you're going to wild card. Because obviously if you get problems like Barco, Hall, Solanke, whatever it is, you're better off keeping them on your bench and rolling those transfers, knowing you're going to wildcard in 2-3 weeks' time, if that makes sense, rather than trying to fight fires in your team. Because having 3 free transfers and wildcarding is ridiculously strong now compared to before when it was a wildcard, you only had 1 free transfer after it. So I think you kind of need to know in advance when you're thinking of wildcarding and having that plan in your head because like I said, you're better off carrying those weaker players. So if you've still got a Barco, if you've got a Solanke, keep them there, and then wildcard in 4, and you're better off having those 2 free transfers. So, but I do agree with you. I don't think wildcarding this week is the strong play because this week I think you're going to struggle. I think you're going to be getting a team in that looks good for 4, 5, and 6, but not necessarily for 3. The other thing is as well, I'm wondering how much Arsenal you're going to have in your team if you wildcard now. I suppose if you get the free transfers, you can move things around quite easily. But yeah, I don't think it is the play this week. 4 looks a lot better for me.
I completely agree. I think you can get away with it this week. Like you said right at the start, it could be a low scoring game week. And I think unless you've got issues everywhere, if you see you've still got Quansah and he's now dropped down to 4.3. If you've got Barco, if you've got Nkunku, if you haven't got Trent, you might have to do it, but I think if you can get through this week and go into the international break and do it, then it's better. And it doesn't actually matter with the strategy, whether you do it now or after, because you're still going to save that transfer. So yeah, I like the game week 3, as in wildcarding into game week 4.
Yeah,
more than I do using it this week. Right, we will take 2 more questions. One from FPL team. Hypothetically, if you want a free hit this week to wipe out a rage -16, oh Peter, who would your top 3 picks be?
Oh dear. You have to have Palmer. I think Palmer's got to be in there, and he'll be your captain as well. I mean, the Arsenal fixture, you'd have Mbumo. You definitely have Mbumo for Southampton if you're free hitting. So that'd be absolutely fine as well. And then, to be honest, I
free hit in game week 3 seems...
I know. I haven't had this question before. I would say something like Gibbs White at home to Wolves. Wolves look absolutely all over the place at the moment and do not look good defensively. So I probably have Gibbs White there because you've got 3 penalty takers there. And I think you've got to prioritise the penalty takers. Saka, what do you think about Saka? It could probably be up against Hinchelwood, isn't he? Is that a good little match up there? Do you think Saka should be high up on my list there? Should he be higher for captaincy?
Yeah, Mark's captaining him.
Is he? Oh,
yeah.
Done. I'll change it now.
I think there's definitely goals in this game. There's no way this game's going to be a 0-0 with the way these teams both love to attack. I really like Hinchelwood as a player. He's not a left back though, and when he's coming up against a world-class player, there are questions that need to be asked. I think he's a good captain. I think Saka will get something from that game. I like it. This is why I'm a bit like people doing Saka to Palmer for a hit this week. Yeah. I'm just thinking, I can see it. I can see Palmer going off and getting a big haul, but I could definitely see Palmer getting something. So is there going to be enough? Enough between them? And captains-wise, yeah. I mean, Haaland obviously looks good, but if you haven't got him, Salah is an option, Son's an option, but if I didn't have Haaland, it would probably be between Palmer and Saka. If I didn't have Haaland, I'd be going Saka, basically with the team I've got. So yeah, I don't hate it. I don't love it though. There's something about it that maybe it's my Brighton bias, but I don't absolutely love it.
Brighton bias?
Yeah,
I didn't know you had a Brighton bias.
I can't believe I've nailed my colours to the Verbruggen starting mask. Now that's gonna get thrown in my face.
No,
never
not.
does. I think my 3 would be same as yours, Palmer. Well, actually, no, I don't think I'd say Gibbs White. I'd say Palmer, Mbumo, and probably Watkins away at Villa. I seem a bit hotter on him than you do.
Yeah, big time.
Yep. Right, final question. Ian Smith, Drew Peacock. That was it. Drew Peacock. That was, if anyone just tuning in, that was the name of the person who I didn't realise, and I read it out, and then everyone laughed. It's clever, isn't it? Yeah. You ever had a Drew Peacock?
No, never.
No, never.
No, never.
Not in the register.
No, he's never come up in my chat at all.
Never come up. Okay, good.
No.
Good. There was a guy I went to school with called Harrison Peacock. I wonder if he's had a son. You could call him Drew. That'd be fun. Anyway, how has Eze not dropped in price despite being at 97%, 98% for days now? Drew Peacock.
It's a good question. To be honest,
honestly, is it Drew Peacock twice?
I have no idea how price changes work. I really don't. I've tried and I thought I understood them, but I still don't understand them. Honestly, it feels like that episode of South Park where they chop the heads off chickens and just chuck them on the roulette wheel, and they just wherever it lands is who goes down in price. We've got so many predictors that say, oh, this is what's going to happen, and sometimes it never works. So, I don't know why. Solanke still as well.
Fix my camera. Well, at least Solanke's got the flag, right, which kind of somewhat explains it, because he changed from a red to an orange, whereas Eze hasn't. I think I think the answer to that is that the price prediction websites at the moment are incredibly inaccurate. Because they're kind of just guessing based on transfers, and if FPL themselves have made any tweaks to the algorithm, then they haven't been able to pick it up yet. So, I would just give them a bit more time to work those out. We will take one more. We will take a good one. Who's the Arsenal backup goalkeeper?
Oh God, what's his name? They've just signed one, haven't they?
But Bentley's coming, isn't he? So
no, they've signed some other dude from Spain. I can't remember what his name is.
Is Bentley not going there now? That's good. I've got him on my bench. That's nice. Let's take the final one from... There we go. Perfect one from Amrit. Will Salah, Jota and Trent destroy
Why?
Ten Hag's United?
Why? Yeah. Probably. I mean, they just look so... it amazes me how quickly Slot has come in and just said, this is my system, we'll make it work. And he's making it work so quickly. United have had Ten Hag for so long. I still don't know what the system is half the time.
No, nor do I.
And it's amazing how quickly Slot's made it work. I think we're going to struggle against them personally. But if there are ever games that United seem to turn up in, it seems to be against Liverpool and City. For some reason, we seem to be able to get little results against them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be an absolute mauling, but I think they will play very well against us, and I'd be expecting returns from a few of their players, I would have thought. So, I'm not got high hopes for United in this one, and I don't think Ugarte comes in and plays straight away either. No. So, we could struggle a little bit, I would think.
What score have you gone for in the predictions?
I've gone 2-1 United in the prediction.
Hit and hope. Love it.
Yeah, big time, yeah. I hate going against United in my predictions. I did it with Brighton last week, though.
Oh, no wonder you do so badly.
Yeah.
I've gone 3-2 Liverpool.
I didn't do badly. What are you talking about, badly?
Well, always predicting United to win, don't so. The pitchfork's going to come out for that. I've gone for 3-2 Liverpool. I think United will put up a fight.
Yeah.
And it's such a big game. I'm looking forward to watching it on Sunday. We'll see. We might see a bit more about what this new Ten Hag is all about. Given there's his new lifeline he's been given. I thought he'd be out for certain over the summer. So obviously, winning the FA Cup's bought him a bit more time. And like you say, Ten Hag going up against a big side in his first big game for the club. So be interesting. Right, Andy, thank you so much for joining me. Good replacement for Sam. Thanks everyone for tuning in at this early time. Hopefully it's set your day off in the best possible way. And we'll be back very soon.
Cool. Thank you.